Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Behind the Group podcast. I am DJ Keo.
And I am Basil Barrington, and we are back with the season finale of season 2, Foundation Creation Myths.
Whew,
IMDb gave
it
this an
was spicy.
8.8. Come on, an 8.8.
That's too low.
Come
That's
on,
too
an
low.
8.8.
that's ridiculous. That's too
This is
low.
like the last 3 episodes, we gave a 10. That's what we rated these
Yeah,
episodes.
we
And
cut the thing right now. I'll give it a 10. It was a 10.
oh,
It was another 10
it's another, yeah, this
without
is another
question.
10. Yeah, It's another 10. I
Yeah.
mean, like the entire season. Um,
Mhm.
Although you didn't have a lot of, like, I guess, battles, you kind of did have battles, and you also had just
Yeah.
how they just exposed everything. This is what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is how it went down.
Because the battles were more personal. Like they had space battles yesterday or last week,
Mhm.
and this week it was more personal battles, which is the battle with the day and was a ball that was good.
Oh yeah,
That yeah we did the switch out
Day and
that was
Bell,
good.
Day and
That was
Bell. That
yeah
was dope,
Bell
wasn't it?
yeah
That
yeah
was dope.
yeah.
Oh my goodness, that was so dope. You know what's really interesting? I was like, I watched the episode a few times, um,
Mhm,
and I was thinking, I was like, wow, you know what? I don't know how this correlates that closely to the book, but
mhm.
these
I
are,
think we're past the books at this point.
yeah, these are correlations, or I mean, these are people who are
Mhm,
bent on killing other people to make sure that what they're trying to do is going to happen.
mhm.
So
Yeah yeah
like
yeah.
in one of the episodes, I'm sorry, like in this episode just past episode number 10, the season finale.
Mhm.
Harry said a lot more people are going to die,
Yeah.
right? And the other thing is, this is a plan. So the plan is to kill people.
Well, that's the thing is that like it's kind of like the omelets argument. Like you got to break some eggs to get to the omelet part.
Right. Hmm.
And I think from Harry's perspective, like no matter what, a bunch of stuff has to happen that's going to be very bad for everybody. But you can't think about it like that because the end goal is we have a new empire, and this thing's going to be substantial and it's going to change the rest of the universe, or the established universe. But at the end of the day, no matter what, there's going to be changes here. There's nothing you can do about it. People are going to die, and
Right.
that's his perspective. But I think that when you're this powerful, or when you're dealing with something this powerful, because we're talking like trillions of people are affected by this. Like
Yeah.
it's not like a little tiny thing. Like it's like there's millions of worlds. Like it's a lot of worlds.
Yeah. It's like you
It's
said,
not.
it's
It's not
trillions of people. Yeah. Hmm.
trillions of people are affected by what's going to go on here. And from his perspective, and he's doing these little things on these little planets, but like it's a grand situation that's going to happen here. So you can't be focused on, well, this is kind of rough, I feel sorry for this planet here. Like this, F that planet, man. Planet's got to go. It's got to
Yeah.
go.
Hmm.
Like we're trying to save trillions of people's lives here.
But
So a couple
yeah.
million people, whatever, that's too bad. A billion people, that's too bad. Like
Yeah. But I kept thinking, where's the morality in that? It's just like, again, the plan
Mhm,
is to, make sure that the foundation can exist. But
mhm.
within that plan, thousands of people have to die. That's the plan. And I'm okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
now more people have to die. I mean, if you look at every sort of character,
yeah.
even Demerzel, people have to die.
Mhm,
Even Day, people have to die.
mhm.
Harry, people have to die. And I just kept thinking, I was like, wow, I know this is sci-fi,
This
but
is it, though. No,
yeah.
but this is running a government on this scale requires this to happen. Like from Dave's perspective, he's like, "Well, we gotta take out these 3 planets. Like, it just is what it is, because we gotta stop the mentality of these guys can take over and just run their own galaxy without us." Like,
Day
he's like,
was
"If this
like,
this" Yeah.
they said 7 planets. We have to stop this cancer before it metastasizes. I was like, he's gonna go kill
Yeah.
7 other planets, like
But
billions of
how
people.
many Yeah, but that's the thing. From his perspective, he's got trillions of people he's dealing with. From his perspective, he's right though. Like how can you argue against that? You can't have this kind of thing going around in your universe, because you got trillions of lives. You have to stop any kind of disruption from you being leader. Like when we started this show, like the last season, it was de facto days running things,
Mhm.
de facto, and now it's like I don't know yet. You got better ships. You got like you have a bunch of scientists and stuff working against you, like doing other things that you haven't even thought of yet. Like it's not de facto that you're running things anymore. So like this is crazy. But like
Yeah.
you got to think about on the scale of this is an enormous thing. Trillions of people's lives are affected by this. It's difficult to try and run this kind of thing without having to be this kind of uh I'll say like I would say evil because it's not evil. It's about perspective. If you're on this planet and this stuff has happened to you, it's the worst thing ever. But from his perspective, a Trantor, it's like, well, we just got to take care of this planet. Like it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all about
Yeah.
perspectives.
Yeah.
It's 100%
Mhm.
about perspectives, and depending on where you're sitting at this time. If you're a little tiny farmer on this planet in the middle of nowhere, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to you. For Day, this is like I got dessert, and then I was like, "Oh, we gotta get rid of this planet." Okay, cool. And
Yep.
anyway, so I'm back to my. I'm reading the newspaper, like they'll say, like that's his world. But your perspective is crazy. I really like this show because you get to see the perspectives of what is happening to the people on the little planet, and it's interesting because from depending on where you are at this moment in time in space, this is the
Mhm.
worst thing or the best things ever happened to you.
Yeah.
But it's all a matter of where you are at that moment. That's the
Yeah.
crazy part.
Listen, I love this show. Best
Mhm.
sci-fi I've watched. I don't necessarily subscribe to the murderous sort of ways of this show because, again, you know,
Mhm.
thousands, if not millions, of innocent lives are
Mhm.
going to die,
Yeah.
as if there is no other way to solve the issue. Again, I mean,
Mhm.
why not get rid of the leaders of those planets? Why not get rid of the leaders of the rebellion if there is a rebellion? But just to go in and say, you know what, these two
Yeah, like
people,
screw the planet.
yeah,
No, but
so it's a
it's the
very
thing about
murderous
scale.
show. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, but it's a scale. So if you're dealing with, say, uh like a company, the scale is I gotta get rid of 12 people, so I gotta fire 12 people. Now you're dealing with the planet. The scale is, well, we gotta get rid of 12,000 people or whatever, a million people.
Hmm.
So now you're dealing with a million planets. The scale is, like it's growing substantially
Yeah.
to we gotta get rid of 3 planets. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's all about perspective. We were
Yeah.
looking at it's a tiny perspective of 100 people at a company. Well, you got to fire one person. The scale is 12 million people. Well, we got to get rid of 300,000 people, or
Hmm.
whatever it is. The
Hmm.
scale is crazy. And so for us, our scale is 5-10 people. So looking at that, like we got to destroy 3 planets is insane to us. But it's about scale.
Right.
From
Right.
his perspective, getting rid of planets is nothing. That's a drop in the bucket.
Right. But
They have
if
so
we
many
use
planets
if
in
we
the
use that
universe.
analogy, at least people have the option to then go out and find another gig, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
right
but
right here,
it's
innocent
about
people don't
scale.
have any options. It's just like next thing you know, you're having fun. You're at the park with your kids. The next thing you know,
Yeah.
like a huge ship falls on your planet. You had nothing to do with this. So again, it's
Well,
just
yeah,
again
yeah, but
that was
then
the one thing that got to me was like, wow, this is a really murderous type of
it's
sci-fi
100%
show.
murder. But like,
Yeah.
if you think about like, if say like Star Wars, right?
Hmm.
So when the Emperor took over the whatever like he went through the Senate like normal. He's like, hey, I'm gonna be in charge for the Senate. We got a little issue here, but I'll be in charge for a little bit. I'm gonna
Hmm.
take all these powers and just slowly start becoming more and more evil
Right.
to what to get this thing done. But like from his perspective, he's like, yo, I got a couple of these knuckleheads are over here on this planet and they're causing me issue. I gotta get rid of them. But like, it's about perspective and the scale. For if it was just a little company and he's trying to get rid of 3 employees, like you wouldn't think anything of it. But like it's a larger thing, planets and all this other stuff. So I think that scale is the best way to describe what's happening in Foundation, and that's the best way to look at it. So, like, the larger the scale, the more evil you have to be to little people. That's basically what it is.
It's like 3 billion people, I've got to be evil. 16
Yeah,
trillion
yeah.
people, I have to be a megalomaniac, so
Yeah,
basically,
exactly. It's like your
yeah.
scale goes down based on the amount of people. It's one person, I guess me, I'd be a little bit mean, but not really that mean. So, you know what I'm saying? It's perspective on the scale.
So basically, the more people you have to kill, the less morality you have,
Yeah, but
basically.
it's about the scale. Because he's dealing with, so how many planets is in the Empire, like
Oh, oh,
officially?
oh, in the Empire, isn't it the entire galaxy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, like, from his
Mhm.
perspective, 3 planets is nothing.
Yeah.
It's a drop in the bucket. He would
Right.
think twice about it. Oh, kill 3 planets? All right, cool. Anyway, so I'm having dessert. Like, that's basically what it is. Because it's such a large scale for whatever's
Right.
happening. But for us,
Wow.
it'd be like, well, I was rude to this person over here. I feel bad about it, but it's not that big a deal. Because, like, the scale is off.
Yeah.
We're looking at this thing in such a small quantity for what is humanity and what's a good leader and all this other stuff. But, like,
Mhm.
he's like, yo, these guys cause me headache. Get rid of those planets, man. what
Wow.
do we need these planets for?
Well, you know what? He continues to impress me. Just
Day's awesome,
Day
man.
is
Day's
awesome,
awesome.
dude. Day is just, I mean, the way he was fighting Bell. I
Mhm.
mean, just his that fight scene was very agitated. Day was like just throwing one
Oh, he
punch,
was
then
hot.
coming with. I mean, wasn't he? I was just like, dude, this
He was
is
hot. Like,
crazy.
yeah, how
He was
dare you?
Day was throwing punches like upright. So he's 6'5". So he's throwing these punches, he's throwing these jabs and everything. And I'm just like, this
Mhm.
guy is he's this is Day is off the
Yeah,
chain,
but
dude.
also from his perspective, like, you guys gave me a headache. I had to come out here. I gotta leave
Mhm.
my home planet and come out here, and this is what you guys do right now. Oh, hell no! Like, none of my watch.
Yeah, but you
Like,
know what? Like I guess it came around episode 8 or 9, and he was basically like,
mhm,
"I want to talk to these people. You want a new way for the foundation?"
mhm.
I was thinking that he was going to go there, have a discussion, like, "Listen, can we work things out? If not, then I'm going to start killing people."
Well,
You know?
yeah, because he didn't know the scale. He didn't know
Hmm.
what's on the planet, the ships, none of that stuff. I think that the game changer for everything was the auras. Once he saw that, oh, these guys got personal protection. Oh, hell no!
Yeah,
This
he
is
was
only for
pissed off.
me.
He
Yeah,
was,
he was hot.
dude,
Like,
he
wait a
was
minute.
pissed. He's like, "Is this a church?" But I always thought that the church was basically it was a trap. The church was a trap. I felt like it was a trap. It's
Mhm.
just like
Yeah,
because
yeah, for
remember,
sure.
Day was like, when he came to when his shuttle went to when he was able to get to the 20th Fleet,
Mhm,
the first thing he
mhm,
said was, "Show me the heat map."
mhm.
Like, why didn't
Yeah,
Bell think about that as a general? Like, where's the heat maps? He didn't even think about
because
that.
Bell he's got the personal touch because he's seen the smaller side of what's going on,
Hmm.
whereas Day is looking at the grand scale of I got 100,000 employees, 22 are acting crazy, so we got to fire 22 people. Whereas Bell's looking at this thing from a personal standpoint of, like, I was walking on the planet, I saw these people. They're not necessarily evil. They're just like they have different opinion about what's going on here. But, like, Dave's looking at a spreadsheet of, I got 22 problems here. Let's just delete this part of the spreadsheet. Let's keep going. So it's about a perspective, like where you are on the scale of everything. He's Dave's at the tippy top. You know, Bell's he's like somewhere in the bottom
Hmm.
middle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
True.
he walked on the ground a little bit. He understands why these guys would be annoyed. And
Yeah.
it's like, hey, I just want to live, man. Like, I don't
Mhm.
want to deal with this crap. Like,
Let's talk about some scenes, some sections here. Let's first talk about we don't have to give an overview because let's just get into
yeah, yeah,
the
man,
the
you're in
nuts
it.
and
You're
bolts.
watching it because of us. Yo.
Right.
It's all
So
good.
let's talk about the first scene where Demerzel went back to the prison, right? And
For
she
jail.
saw, yeah, the jail, right? Or the shelter
Hmm.
or whatever it's called, right? She,
Hmm.
like last episode, she got an alert somehow. Don't know how, but she went
Hmm.
there and she confronted Dusk and Rue. And
Mm-hmm.
what was amazing about that episode or that scene was,
Mm-hmm.
if you look at the entire season, you see that
Mm-hmm.
Demerzel, she does exhibit emotions, not like serious
Yes.
emotions, but she does exhibit emotions.
Mm-hmm.
The season finale, dude, she was
Hey, she's
crying.
balling.
She was like, I
She's
mean, the
balling.
emotions, and I'm just like, I'm like, okay, if she was created 18,000 years ago, that
Mm-hmm.
technology 18,000 years ago,
It's
they gave her
bonkers.
emotions.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But we don't know what her job was,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm assuming like it was to be around other humans. So like she had to nail that perfectly, and she's kind of I don't know if she regressed, and so because she's basically like I- she's more robotic today than she would have been before,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that her having to deal with the original day, Cleon the First, kind of messed up her feelings about what is the empire, how do I show my allegiance to it because I'm stuck here now. Like there's a lot of emotional stuff that she's dealing with as a creation, because I think that those types of robots, they had emotions. They were basically humans. They're fighting for their rights to be classified as a person too.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, I think about how far the technology was that she can cry, she can do a bunch of stuff, and
She's
she feels all this stuff.
She said in one, she has some great lines, by the way. She said in one line
Oh,
that
she killed it. Oh, this
she
episode,
said
she murdered this episode.
your errors is just merely a cluster of dividing cells.
Yes,
Basically, like,
he's
you are
becoming weaker
nothing.
and weaker.
I
Yeah.
control you. Every time she decants a new
Hmm.
empire, new Cleon, she makes them,
Hmm.
like, just lack of a better word, dumber and
They're becoming
dumber.
dumber. They're becoming
Right.
dumber.
So I'm
They're
like,
half men.
yes, they're half men, and I'm just like, and Dusk really said that. He was like, wow, we have no power, no control.
Hmm.
None, right? Absolutely none. How do you think she killed
Hmm.
him? Because when she killed him, she did, like, put the force field around the, sort of
Yeah,
the
they can't
cell.
leave. They couldn't get
Mhm.
out, but like I think probably just like a neck snap or something like that, like something simple. Because she already broke Rue's hand.
Right.
Her hand was finished. you
Yeah, but I mean,
can
like,
hear it snap when she
right.
broke it. I was like, oh
But if you
damn.
but if you have like two dead bodies just like corroding, like for like years or even weeks or months, people are gonna start
Well,
smelling
they're
that
gonna
maybe.
disappear. No, because where that place is, like it's the middle of nowhere in the
Yeah,
in the capital.
it's deep,
So like no one's gonna get to it. But like she could always just go down there and send down some robots to clean it up or whatever. Like I'm sure they still have robots, just not humanoid robots.
Yeah. Was she emotional because she had to kill Dusk, or was she
Yeah, yeah.
emotional that Dusk found out, what her real
Oh,
purpose
that's a
is?
good point.
Hmm.
Because here's the thing: I don't think she's ever had to talk about this for like 500 years
Yeah.
about what's going on down there since
Hmm.
original Cleon. I don't think she had to ever talk about this again. So
Yeah.
like maybe she was like, "Thank God I can say it to somebody," because I'm just sitting there because she can't. First of all, she remembers everything, and so she's just sitting with this memory, and she can't explain it to anybody because then she got to kill them. So I mean that's got to suck on her part. She's trapped in this situation to be part of this empire
Yeah.
that she's basically running,
She
but she's
she
running
is
it
running.
from the
Hmm.
sidelines,
Yeah.
and she can't tell you that she's running it. So she's just got to deal with these knuckleheads that are becoming dumber and dumber every
She
time he pops
she
one out.
even said to Dusk, because Dusk and Rue was like, we can reprogram you, like, from the Cloud Dominion. And she was like,
Hmm.
if you tried, I will kill you. Basically, if you
Yeah, yeah.
try to do anything to screw with her programming, she will kill
Hmm.
you. Now, and
Hmm.
that's just how it is. If a Cleon does something wild, she has to go kill him,
Hmm.
right? So let me ask you
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
So we know that Dawn and Sareth, we know that they bounced, and she basically said, I will track you down, right? But
No, no, she started to, and she's like, you know what, screw it. I don't even care right now.
well, no, no,
I got
no.
bigger
She
fish to fry.
no, she did say, I will track you down, but um,
Mhm.
Dawn was like, listen, you know, this is how things are. So, and
Mhm.
she sort of like broke a little bit there. Do you think that she is about to basically leave Dawn and Sareth alone, or what?
Yeah, that's what I think is going on for the next season. There's just gonna
Hmm.
be I don't think they matter at this point unless you're gonna get because you're gonna jump. I think the next season they're gonna jump some years, and we're gonna go forward like 100 years, something like last season.
Yeah.
Because we got like 10,000 years to go through. There's a lot of work to do, so you got to go forward no matter what. You can't just stay focused on this area. So I definitely think they're
Hmm.
gonna go forward, and his great grandson son is gonna be like, "Hey, I'm rightful owner of the empire."
Yeah.
And you're gonna have some problems there
I think he
because
also, I think, but she also said he's going to be weak. He may be sick, whatever. I think he also alluded to the fact that, listen, if you let us go and have this child, then you can possibly be free. Because it kind of
yeah,
sounds
that's what
like,
he's selling.
yeah, it kind of sounds
That's
like
what he's selling.
if the empire was broken, then
Mhm.
Demerzel could completely be free. That's what it
Mhm.
sounds like to me. I don't
Which
know.
is, that the problem is for her, she has to keep this thing running no matter what.
Yeah.
And you can see, like, when she lost the spaceship, she's like, "Oh god." You can feel it. Her program is like, "Oh god, this is gonna be a long day." Now we
Yeah.
gotta build new spaceships. We gotta get new, like, it's a mess.
Dude.
You lost your entire battle fleet, the entire thing,
You
gone.
know, that's a good
That
segue.
sucks.
That's a good segue. Let's take it to the 20th Fleet and Terminus, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
last week we spoke about, or even like episode number 8, and also last week we spoke about
Mhm.
how the spacers may become involved in this, right? They may become a part of this, right? And it looks
Yeah, yeah.
like that they actually did, right? And the amazing thing about this entire segment of this episode was, one, it was part of the plan. It was part of the plan, one, to kill people, but
Mhm.
two, to get the entire fleet. The entire
Mhm.
fleet. Now that was like just a mishap on Day's part to say, you know what? Send the entire fleet. Everything we
Mhm.
have, send it up there. Man, they had hundreds of ships and the 20th fleet. And what
Mhm.
happened? I guess she sort of I guess she sent a message to the other spaces that were on the other ship saying, like, yo, blow up these ships. And there was a chain reaction. And it was like, all the ships are gone. So does that mean that the Empire has no army now, no fleet?
No, because the spacers left the empire, so they can't even fly around if they wanted to.
But
So
all
let's
the
say
ships
Day
blew up
somehow
too.
survive.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would say, but somehow, okay, let's say magically Day survive.
Hmm.
There's no way for him to get home. He's stuck there.
Well,
Impossible. It would take hundreds of years to get home
we
without the
know,
spacers.
right. But we know that we know, and this was brilliant. We know that Day is gone because he was spaced
Yeah,
and
no, he's
yeah.
dead. I would say Day's dead, but I'm just saying, like, let's say magically somehow Day survives.
Yeah.
Impossible for him to get home without
Yeah.
spacers. So, like, that thing, no matter what, it was a wrap. The empire kind of folded in half at that moment
Right.
because
Hmm.
these guys can't get food to other planets. There's a bunch of problems they're gonna have now. They can't
Right.
get supplies to other planets. They can't because a lot of planets are inside of the fold of
Yeah.
empire
Hmm.
because they're able to get resources and stuff from each other.
Yeah.
But now that you can't do that, that is a problem.
Yeah.
That'll wreck the empire just from this one thing alone. Because
And
something so substantial is gone
yeah, and
overnight.
in the first season, when Day said, "Okay, Harry, you guys can take a ship and you can go to Terminus, but you can't have
Mhm.
jump." I think they said it would take 852 days. So basically 3 years without jump
Yes.
just to get from like Trantor to Terminus. So yeah, like they would be screwed.
Like,
Like,
that is
where's he gonna
just
get a ship the whole
screwed.
nine? Where's the food?
But
No
yeah, but you gotta
spacers,
think,
nothing.
how many thousands, millions of planets, however many planets are in the empire. Now none of these planets can get the resources they can normally get gone like that.
Yeah.
Because because it's not just the fleet that's got the spacers. Spacers are in everything. So those spacers could be like, yo, we're gonna take the ship and bounce. There's nothing you can do about it. You guys
Yeah.
gotta go sleep at some point. So once those guys quit, it's a wrap for the entire empire. Empire's going to fall apart overnight, and
Mhm.
then they're going to have to go and beg for the whisper ships from Foundation. So like this is all bad. Like
Yeah.
you completely changed. It's kind of like Dune, where they can't get the spice anymore. Like it completely changes what's what and who can do
No
what.
spice for you.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
that's basically what it is. So you have the spacers. Spacers like, yo, we're gonna charge you 300% now. That's what's gonna
Mhm.
be. That's the new price. Who could afford that?
How did Harry convince Hobermaler that, listen, this is a great cause. You will
Mhm.
die, but this is for a great cause.
Well, I don't
Because,
think he knew he was gonna die like that, though.
mhm,
I don't think he knew.
but you know what?
He
It's
just knew the main thing, the job is to get that part done. That's all he knew.
Yeah, but that's true. But you know, everyone, Bell, Hobermaler, you know, everyone
Mhm.
who knew that this is the end, man, they did it
Mhm.
like men and women. They were like, well, this is it for us, so let's just do it. I
Yeah,
mean,
let's
that was
go out.
brilliant. That was brilliant. You know, just like this is for the cause. Let's do it for the cause. The whole nine.
Mhm.
That was really
Mhm.
brilliant. I think that you know when the spacer sort of activated Hobermaler's sort of wrist, and
Mhm.
then you know Bell sort of slipped something in, you know, Day's suit, and then when he was
Mhm.
spaced, they kind of transformed, and I was like, dude. And the thing about it is, they transformed bodies, so not
Mhm.
outfits. So when Bell was
Yeah, he
transformed,
switched the
yeah,
body.
you
Yeah,
know, so he had on like, you know, the Empire's
yeah,
clothing, and
shorts
I was
on.
like,
Yeah,
right.
you threw him out like a chump. He got
For
shorts are
real.
too small for him.
I'm like, he's like, whoa, this is too big, man. You're like 6'5". You know, I was like, yo, that was like completely, man, that was completely brilliant. And then,
Mhm.
you know, even after all that happened, the smaller ships, they kept exploding, right? And then all of a sudden,
Nothing you can do about it.
the 20th fleet exploded, and that is it. So that means that the Empire does not
Mhm.
have a space fleet, correct?
Yes, it's a problem. That's a huge problem.
That's a huge
Because
problem.
I'm sure that there's some planets that got spacers that are like, you know what, we hang out with you guys. We like you. So like those
Mhm.
kind of planets are going to thrive just instantly because there's no way to travel around with space
Yeah.
unless you're like a cluster in an area or you're nearby. You can't travel around the whole entire galaxy. This is a problem. It's a huge problem.
I
Just
think
as
it was
a fu.
I think it was also fitting that when Day was spaced, he was
Mhm.
heading towards Terminus. Terminus, the planet that he
As
just
Rex,
destroyed. And I was
because
just like,
I
how
thought
fitting is that?
maybe it's something in his mind and they really didn't destroy it, but it's this Terminus is a wrap. It's gone.
It's done. It's
That is
done.
crazy. That is
So
crazy.
so everyone on Terminus basically escaped inside of the vault, huh?
Yeah, the vault's a spaceship apparently. They're flying around in the vault.
Yeah. Well, you know, we're gonna get to that, but you know, when I saw that, I was like, did they basically take the technology out of the
Mhm.
Invictus and create it, you know, put it inside of the vault to make it like a spaceship? Because wow, I'm just like, that is amazing
Well,
to me
because
how that
remember,
joint just
right?
came out of the
When
clouds
you
like
the
that.
bodies jumped into the vault, it kind of folded space in there.
Yeah.
So like it's got room, like because it's whatever you want. It's mental.
Yeah.
So like the bodies can pop out too. So like it's you can do a bunch of stuff with that kind of technology. So I didn't know that the vault was a spaceship too, but like
Neither
you
did
can
I.
definitely
Yeah.
fit everybody in there. So like you can, I guess, you vacuum up everybody that was on the city in the space. You just vacuum them up, put them inside the vault, and it's bounced out of there. I was
Yeah.
just exploding. Like I guess that's what happened.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm confused. I got questions. I got lots of questions.
It's a, you know,
But
I'm confused too, but it's a good confusion. You know, I love to be
mhm,
confused like this when it comes to like a TV series, a sci-fi series.
mhm,
It just makes me think like, what's going on? Why is this happening? And you know, the other thing is this, right? If you're going to do a season finale, this is
mhm.
how you do a season finale. I am happy to wait another year, another 2 years, another 3 years,
Yeah,
whenever the next season comes. I'm happy to do
yeah.
that because I can always go back, and I am going to do this.
All right,
Watch
I'm
season
gonna
one
rewatch
and
season
two
two.
back
Yeah,
to back
yeah,
on a
absolutely.
Saturday or rainy day on a Saturday. Wake up in the morning,
Yeah.
just start get it in. wow, this is
Yeah.
crazy, man.
No, because it was a good show. Like this is a really good show, and I like the more than anything else. I like the technologies and the questions that it's asking. Like what's possible and why, and that's always fascinating to me. That stuff makes the show worthwhile more than anything else. Like just it's a nice show. Like some action happened, that's cool, but like the bigger questions that they're asking overall is it's the interesting part for me.
Yeah.
And
And
yeah, I'm excited, man.
and
I
the
like
only
it.
one survived from the ship was Brother Constant, and that's when the Volk came and picked her up. Again, this is
Mhm.
all by design. This is all the plan,
Mhm.
and quite
And
amazing.
you know
And
what?
mhm,
We had questions about who's gonna die and who's gonna get sacrificed.
mhm,
Harbor, it's the only person that got sacrificed.
right,
Everybody else is good to go still.
right,
It's
um,
crazy.
but it also, again, we can talk about this in the next segment, but it also just seems
Mhm.
like Gail, she is so heartbroken that yes, this is the
Mhm.
plan, and yes, I know this plan will involve killing thousands of
Mhm.
people. And this is a
Yeah.
young girl. I mean, obviously, she's like 300 years old, really, right?
Yeah, no, like, she's not that young anymore, but
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Physically young.
yeah, physically. So that's also a good segue to get into the next section, which is on Ignis. And
Mhm.
wow, Ignis, I mean, so the whole plan was for Terminus to be sacrificed so that the
Mhm.
foundation can truly be created on Ignis.
Yeah.
Totally amazing. I mean, again,
The second foundation to
the second
foundation to the
foundation,
sequel.
right?
Sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like, okay, but now it's going to be the first foundation, really, right? Or does
No,
it
no,
work
first
like that?
foundation's still on the ship. They're still
Hmm.
there. They gotta find a new planet now. But
Right, which is
the
Ignis.
the yeah.
Hmm.
Second foundation is gonna because the job of the second foundation is to make little tweaks to keep the timeline going.
Yeah.
But everyone's focused on the first foundation. They don't even know the second one exists,
Hmm.
which is wild.
Um, what was really interesting about this segment is
Mhm.
how the showrunners they just really kept the viewers in the dark as to
Yeah, we had no idea that any of this is going on.
yeah, we had no idea that Harry was basically alive, and they were
Mhm.
using like the metallics, you know,
Yeah, the
to basically
projection.
yeah, exactly. And I was just like, whoa. And then how Gail was saying that her and Harry are connected some way. They feel the same thing. She was drowning
Mhm.
just like Harry was drowning.
Yeah, yeah, which is crazy. So
Hmm.
So their our version of events that we saw is wrong
Hmm.
because Tellum was gone and that guy was there, and Harry. That's when Harry died, when the guy was there by himself.
Right,
Well, that's when he technically died. But
right.
from our perspective, we saw Tellum there with another person. So like that's all wrong. Everything about what was going on that planet's wrong. Our version of events is completely out of whack because Harry's been alive this entire time for how long do you think they were there? Like months? It didn't seem like it happened overnight. It seemed like they were there for a while.
Well, they were jumping back and forth so much. I mean, I didn't know if
It's
it was
impossible to
months.
say.
I didn't know if it was years, decades. You just never know, right? It was
Yeah, there's
crazy.
no way to say. I feel like maybe a year they were there because
Hmm.
she basically learned how to use all these powers, which I don't think you can do overnight. I don't care
Right.
how gifted you are.
Because she said that when Harry was drowning, she did what Tellum taught her to do. She gave the guard a
Mhm.
need to help Harry. And
Yeah.
then when he came in and when he took the chains off and everything, then again,
Hmm.
Gail and Harry are feeling and seeing the same thing. So as Harry was
Hmm.
killing, I think his name was
Yeah, she was doing
Venick,
it.
she was doing it too.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, again, right?
Mm-hmm.
For Gail to be down with this plan and to know
Mm-hmm.
that she will have to kill thousands of people, maybe
Mm-hmm.
millions of people. Man, that is like really that's really hard to have just on your head, just like, wow, I'm a killer. I'm a
Yeah,
killer,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. But see, now here's the thing, though.
Hmm.
When we talk about the perspective and scales, when she's like, I'm saving trillions of people, so I got to kill a couple thousand," like that's nothing to you. Like you're saving the galaxy. 10,000 years from now. So you maybe have to get a little blood in your hands. Like that's when you look at the grand scale of the situation, like that's nothing to you. That's a
Right.
drop in the bucket.
But that's like that's a fanatic, that's the viewpoint. If you just look at fanatics, and
Yeah, yeah. They're like, we
megalomaniacs,
got a big
throughout
goal. We got a
history,
big
it's
goal.
just like that
Yeah.
sort of that never works. Yes, you will end up killing a lot of people, but in the end,
Mhm.
people will get you. If
You're
you
gonna die
again,
too.
if
Yeah,
yeah,
you're
if
gonna
you
die
just
too,
look
no
at
matter what.
history, our own history,
Oh, for sure.
but your girl, um, Salvor.
Mhm.
Do you think Salvor is going to come back?
That's a good question. Cause she's in the future. Well, she was in the future in that version,
Hmm.
but like that version looked like she was losing. So maybe that this new version of events for the future is completely different, and she's better off without her than having her there.
Hmm.
Because if there's certain people that when they're there, they're a liability now because I got to protect them. But if they're not there, that kind of makes me stronger because I don't have to worry about this thing.
Hmm.
That could be a factor here. That's why she lost, or why she was losing because she's worried about her daughter. So like from a perspective, and it goes back to perspective. I think that's the key word for this video. It, if her daughter's not there, she does things different.
Yeah.
Because she seems more focused on task at hand, and she's powerful, man. If you really think about what Gail's capable of doing right now, it's insane. Because
She's
she can do the force push and pull. She
all.
she can switch off your mind.
Hmm.
She can put the projections in your forehead. She can do all kind of stuff right now.
Man,
So
she's
yeah, that's a problem.
that is crazy, man. But do you think that? So the reason why I was asking is because Harry did come back as a biological, you know,
Mhm,
largely due to Kelly. So do
mhm.
you actually think that Kelly can bring Salvor back?
I think so.
Hmm.
It's possible because you got the Prime Radiant is basically copying human beings and put them in a spaceship. Like anything's
Hmm.
possible. I don't think though. I think that she's probably done in this series. Maybe like a replay of a memory or something like that.
Yeah,
Maybe she can
cameos
do a
and
scene
stuff
like
like
that,
that.
a
Yeah. Hmm.
cameo. But I think she's done like this part of the show.
Hmm.
And I think they got because I think they're moving forward in time, and they're gonna jump and do a different storyline because
Hmm.
you could do anything in the grand scheme of what's going on here. The end goal is a new foundation creates a new empire. The end. But like in between that, you can do whatever you want because there's no book to that part of it.
Hmm.
Like
Speaking of
the book is just about the grand scheme of what's happening.
true. Speaking of the Prime Radiant,
Mhm.
Demerzel does have the Prime Radiant. And I kind of think that was by design, because he basically gave the Prime, Harry gave the Prime
They
Radiant
handed to
to,
her.
well,
Harry's devious, man.
yeah,
All
so,
versions of Harry are devious. So
yeah,
like, I don't think
even,
that's what she wants.
yeah, so I think that's just feels to me like that was by, everything he does is by design, everything, right?
Mhm,
If you look at the 2 seasons of Foundation,
mhm,
everything that Harry has done is a plan. It is by design. So,
mhm.
and Demerzel said, you know what? Yes, I can read it, but not all of it, but I will. And I'm just like,
Yeah, she's
okay,
gonna
what is
figure it
she?
out, which is
She's gonna.
what I'm saying? Like, you're basically teaching yourself. Like, it's like like tying your shoe, but you only learn how to tie it one way versus the actual way to tie it. So she's learning it the wrong way.
Mhm.
So like all you could have all kind of problems there because she's learning it the wrong way. It's self-taught rather than like this is the person who made it is showing you how to do it. So
Yeah.
like I think that she's gonna get the wrong lessons out of what's happening here,
Right.
and
Right.
it's gonna cause
Exactly.
problems for her
By design.
by design.
By design. Do you So
Also,
what's up?
because it's a version of the radiant that he gave her, it could be like faulty by design in the first place. And he's gonna show her what he wants her to see.
And that was the radiant that was inside of the vault, which, that Harry
He
inside the
made one
vault
and gave
doesn't
it to
know
her.
everything, right?
So he made one from inside the vault and gave it to her.
Right.
So like it could be
Oh
anything that
my
he's just
goodness,
gave it to
dude.
her.
Listen, it's like, again, if you're going to have a season finale, this
Mhm.
is the blueprint. It's got to be like this. it's got to
Mhm.
be like this. The other thing, like, with on Ignis,
Mhm.
Tellum was able to jump into that little boy's mind, and
Which is wild.
which is wild, right? But he was trying so hard to fight that. Now, what
Mhm.
really struck me in this entire season number
Mhm.
2, is we did have a lot of kids, a lot of children in this season. Did you
Yeah, but
hear
they weren't
any?
annoying though. This is
Exactly.
good.
These kids were serious. Did you hear screaming kids? No. Were kids screaming? Were
No.
kids doing all this other crazy stuff? This is a
Mm-mm.
serious show. If you're going to have kids in a serious show, the kids need to do serious things. And I
Mhm.
love that about that. It's just like, you got to appreciate all that, man. So, but he did die.
Mhm.
Um, and then also Salvor was shot and killed, like we said. And I don't know if that's
Mhm.
the end of her. Salvor just seems like she's a G, man. She's got to come back in some way, right?
I liked her because she's a logical thinking person and
Yeah,
she did stuff that makes sense.
yeah.
So like I see a character that makes sense and it fits into the narrative. I'm like, yes, good stuff.
hmm
So
Now,
that's the yeah.
before we wrap this up, right?
Mhm.
Is it possible? Because again, this is by design. This part of the plan. Opposed
Mhm.
to the mule killing Salvor, did Harry and Gail sort of like put this together so that, knowing that this boy, knowing that Tellum jumped into this boy's mind, and knowing
That's
that,
possible too.
Salvor would try to like save, or at least prevent this kid from shooting Gail, and
Mhm.
to die right there on Ignis and not, on another planet where the mule was. You think that was
Mhm.
by design?
Well, that's the problem. Like she could see the future, so she could have
hmm
seen what based on well, because the thing is though,
She didn't
where
see
they
this
are in
future
time,
though.
they didn't change anything. They
hmm
didn't change anything in the future yet.
Yeah.
So from that point in time, what she could tell her, I think that she's been withholding information. She knows she was gonna die, but she said the wrong way
Yeah.
because you can't trust her first events. Everything that happened on there is wrong from our perspective.
Yeah. Wow.
So anything's literally possible. Like she knew she was going to die then, but she didn't say anything. So she gave us the impression that this is 100 years in the future, which is crazy.
This is crazy, man. This was a great episode, man. This was a great
It's a good
season.
episode.
Let's wrap
Yeah.
this up. And before we wrap this up, I'm just going to,
Mm-hmm.
ask you some questions. One,
Mm-hmm.
who was your favorite character in Foundation season 2? Favorite character, and you can have,
I
and it can be
have
occupied by
multiple.
2 people if you want to.
Okay, Day obviously.
hmm
That's the first one.
hmm
Demerzel and Day, I think, were my two favorite people. Even though
hmm
they're the villains and you're not supposed to root for them, I
hmm
still like them because they're fascinating characters
Yeah.
as far as like what's going on and what they're doing. They're
hmm
fascinating characters. So like I would say those two are my favorite.
What about honorable mentioned?
Honorable mention, I liked what was it Harper? I can't say his name
Hober
properly.
Maller.
Harper. Yeah, he grew on me
It's such
considerably
an
from when he
Irish
started.
name. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
hmm
But yeah, he grew on me considerably from when he started, when he got introduced to where he ended up.
hmm
I was like, "Yo, this guy's he's going out like a boss. Like I like him. I liked him a
Yeah.
lot. So those are my
I am also going to say that Demerzel and Day, favorite characters. They got it. That's a pair.
by
That's a
far,
pair.
not even close. By
Yeah.
far, yeah.
My honorable mention is going to be Salvor,
Mhm.
because she was in season 1. She rocked it to all the way to season the finale of. She was in season 1 and season 2, all episodes,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
she just grew on me. Each and
Mhm.
every episode. So that's my honorable mention. Now,
Mhm.
worst character, season 2.
Tell him. It's gotta be tell him.
Tell him Bond. Come on. Tell him Bond.
It's gotta be tell
Now,
him. Yeah.
that's my worst as well. Now, as a
Mhm.
villain, okay, she was okay as a villain,
She was
right?
great. She was
She
great
was
as a
great as a
villain.
villain.
Yeah.
Someone left like a comment because I was like, tell him has to go, and they were like, well, she's a really good villain. I'm like, well, we need a different villain, right? But she was a really good villain. I didn't like her character. I didn't like I just didn't like how she, killed all these
Mhm.
kids just to survive, so that was just kind of weird
That's
to me.
nasty
And
work
again,
right there.
like I said, every single person who has a little bit of power are killing
Mhm.
people. There is a murderous
Yes.
twist to this show
Yeah,
that
but
is
you
a
can't
little
you
interesting.
when you get the more power you get, the more you have to do stuff that you would be unsavory to you.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like the higher you get up in a company, I got to destroy 30 people's lives and fire the no the lower third of whatever company. Like you're just gonna have to start doing unsavory things the more powerful you get.
Hmm.
So like the unsavory stuff at a company versus the unsavory stuff as president is completely different.
Hmm.
Because president's gotta you gotta body people, you
Yeah.
gotta go.
Hmm.
And so as Galactic Empire, that's gotta do even more unsavory stuff.
Yeah.
So like, I think it's a matter of scale and perspective, really.
Yeah. Hmm.
But you're gonna have to do crap you don't like, and
Yeah,
that's the
that's
fact
true.
of life.
So, another question is season
Mhm.
2. Who was a sleeper character for you? Like, just all 10 episodes. Who was
Ooh.
that sleeper character that you were like, wow, this character is really interesting? Who was that?
Um, I like Tellum as a sleeper character because she's supposed
Hmm.
to be a villain, whatever. But then you learn like she's jumping in people's bodies and she's like just unsavory all around. That's wild. That
you know,
revelation was in season 8. That
mhm.
revelation is crazy.
Episode 8, well, yeah,
Episode
7, 8.
episode
Yeah.
8. That revelation was crazy. That she's jumping in bodies too. Oh, she's unlikable all around. Like he's a
Yeah. Mhm.
scumbag.
She's a complete scumbag. But
Mhm,
I'm gonna have a pair here. I'm gonna say Belle Rioche, and
mhm,
also Tellum. I didn't like Tellum,
mhm.
but her storytelling, her story was kind of
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, if
it's
you really
interesting.
think
It's very
about it, it's
interesting.
really interesting. Again, I can not like a character, I can not like a song,
Mhm.
whatever it is, but I can really still
You can
appreciate
recognize
the
greatness.
creativity of it. So I was just like,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is, man. And also the story
Mhm,
writing, the storytelling
mhm.
for the entire season 2. Dude, this is a hundred. Forget 10 stars.
Oh,
This
yeah,
is like
it
a
was
hundred.
good. It was
I
really good.
mean, who is
Because
doing this?
we didn't have explosions and stuff like every show, but like there's good storylines where like you're
Man,
basically eating a steak fillet, and you're like every episode, whether it's explosions or not, you were getting a good solid
yes,
thing that makes you want to see
yes,
more.
exactly. Very crazy, man. Okay, so
Mhm.
give me your rating for season 10, the season finale of second season of Foundation, and then give me a rating for the entire season 2.
Okay, so season 10, I would say, I give it, I'll give it a 9.5.
Really? A
Or
9?
I mean, episode 10,
Mm-hmm.
I give it a 9.5 for sure.
Yeah.
And I would say the overall season was a 10 for me,
Mm-hmm.
but it was pretty high up.
Yeah.
It was pretty high up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you give it?
I'm gonna give episode 10 season finale a 10
Mhm,
because I was and you know what, when I first watched it, a 10 wasn't in my
mhm,
head, right? And then I watched it a second time with the subtitles on, and I'm like, wow, this is some cerebral stuff. This is like you got to think
mhm,
about this stuff, right? So I was like, this is a 10. The
mhm,
season 2, this is a 10, dude. I mean, this show
mhm.
is a 10. I mean, I think we gave this show episodes more tens than we've given any
Yeah,
other
yeah.
show we've
That
watched.
is true. That is true. We gave a lot of 10s for this season.
Totally
I
dope,
it
totally
was like
crazy.
4?
This show
4
was
10s?
I you know I think it was like maybe 5 or 6 tens. I'm
See,
gonna have to
here's the
look at
thing
the
too, like,
videos. Mhm.
it wasn't because the show was bad. I was annoyed because I'm gonna miss out. There was no more shows after this
Yeah.
for a year or whatever how long.
Hmm.
So I think that's more of a it wasn't because it wasn't bad or it wasn't good. It was more of like this is it. This
Yeah.
kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So I kind of wish they could I wish Apple would be like, yo, we're just gonna film more shows like right now. Like let's
Yeah.
go.
I
But
was
I don't know if they
totally
have the ability to do that.
Yeah, because we don't. I mean, this show looked like it cost $250 million, a quarter of a
It's an
billion
expensive
dollars.
show.
It,
It's
it
a
was
very expensive
expensive,
show
dude.
because they're on location
They're
and
on
they got
location.
sci-fi
Yeah, they're in the
special
Canary
effects.
Islands. They're on location. This thing is pretty dope.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so wow, season 2 Foundation, it is over. And I
Mhm.
look so forward to Thursdays at like 8 or 9 p.m. watching this show.
Yeah, yeah. I was
And
watching it live, man. I was watching it live.
yeah, so wow. So we both gave the Keo, you gave the episode a 9.5. I gave it a 10. We
Mhm.
gave season 2 a 10. This is the
Mhm.
dopest show, dopest sci-fi on like a streaming service in 2023 thus far. What you say?
Yeah, at least so far, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not watching everything on Netflix or whatever, so I don't know. But I say for what I've seen so far, yes, 100%.
You're not. Let me just say something. Netflix and
Mhm.
Amazon. No, this is
There's
it.
nothing on there.
There's nothing on there, dude. There's nothing on there. Nothing at all, dude. I've
Fair
been
enough.
watching a lot of stuff. It's like, I don't know.
Mhm.
If listen, people who are watching, because now that this season is over, we need to get into
Mhm.
another show or another movie. Leave some comments and let us know what we should check out. Let us know what you want to review, what you want
Mhm.
us to review, and then we'll take a look and we'll see what's up. Because I think what's coming up next in October, like mid-October, is Loki.
Mhm.
I'm still watching Invasion, and I'm also still watching Ahsoka. We'll see.
Yeah. Ahsoka's a clown show though, right?
It's yeah, it's
I'm just watching stuff like, "Come on, man. Like, what are you guys doing? Do you even
yeah.
watch Star Wars?
No,
You know
the
how Star Wars works?"
the
So,
whole
yeah.
take the rebels to like real life. I'm just like, no, come on, no,
It's just silly.
stop it,
It's just
stop it
silly.
with it.
Yeah.
Well,
Alright.
there you have it. Thanks for checking out another episode of the Behind the Groove podcast. I am Basil Barrington.
I am DJ Keo.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And until next time, peace.